It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome bay with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. We're home today, getting a chance to chill out before the big holiday weekend. Tomorrow is Holy Thursday. I didn't really realize Holy Thursday was a thing, but it is apparently because I've been enlisted to go to a family dinner event at Val's tomorrow night. They have annual lamb on Thursday night. Friday, Holy is well, it's not Holy Friday. It's Good Friday. Hopefully it'll be a great Friday, Florida Derby Eve, I guess, will be at Gulfstream. Saturday is the Florida Derby. That's a holiday for degenerates such as ourselves. And then Sunday, Easter Sunday. So it's going to be a big weekend on tap. And Jeff Deef with the Forest, Mike Lubie Lubitz, have you recovered from the fish and sushi onslaught yesterday with our friend Kui at Kaizen?
Lubie was channeling his inner Anthony Bourdain yesterday. I'll let you address that, Lubie. I mean, I don't know. I was always squeamish about putting shrimp on a hook, because of the head thing. And then, Lubie disappeared.
Lubie's gone. That's it. You insulted him a little bit.
I didn't mean to insult him. No, this is not any kind of insulting assertions whatsoever. I was very proud of the fact that he, like you, I expected to just dive right into this stuff and shovel it, down your throat. But Lubie, I know he has some daring, and I respected the fact. I applauded the fact that he would eat those fried shrimp heads, which I was not attracted to at all, I have to admit. But tremendous presentation yesterday by Kui. Can you believe this guy? It's weird, though, Mayo Man. You are much more of a sushi purist, and that's why you like the sashimi plate, with all of the raw stuff and no rice and everything, and you make your own thing. But they sent out some really attractive rolls for the less adventurous, I guess, sushi consumer. What would you say? Is that a fair characterization that if you're eating the rolls, you're not quite the connoisseur that some aficionado would be?
The thing I admire about Hui is he's got something for everybody. He realizes not everybody is into the hardcore raw items like I am with the that amaibi, the sweet shrimp, which part of it is completely raw, part of it is the fried shrimp head. But he's got things for everybody, like basic filet mignon. He's got fried rice. He's got noodle dishes, and those rolls. I call them, I have my little snooty, hissy fit about, it's Americanized, all these kind of gimmicky rolls with too many ingredients, because you would not find that in Japan. And as he mentioned, It's usually just one or two ingredients in a roll. And a lot of times it's those hand rolls where it's just like the hamachi, the yellowtail with scallion, like that's an appropriate roll. But to do these kind of like, you have cream cheese and avocado and asparagus and salmon and throw a little bit of fish roe on top. I mean, those are kind of Americanized items that he does extremely well. And they
look
really
beautiful. I mean, there was a table across from us that had a couple of different ones. And I was like, not only were the portions extremely generous, but looked fantastic. I mean, it was like a work of art. I actually thought, the show you see how, ignorant I am on this stuff, but I actually thought that was part of the art, the creation of these rolls.
Oh, no, it is. I mean, again, in an American sushi restaurant, it behooves the owner and chefs to come up with some of these great creative rolls, and some of them are standardized. Welcome back, Lubie. Hope everything's all right. Did the dog
he went and he scarfed down a couple of my shrimp heads while he was gone there?
Did he forget to plug in the computer?
No, my computer's fine. You and the computer. The internet sucks here the last 3 weeks.
Okay, well, that's why we got to get you on the road every day. We're going to be back on the road.
Freaking road, yes. For some reason,
we're going to be Ocean Manor Resort, Frankie Talarico, along with we don't know yet. It's going to be a game time decision whether we're going to be at Casa Calabria, where we love so much, and get all that great upper high end Italian food that you don't have to pay the extremely high-end prices, or Bamboo Beach for another action-packed Thursday in the NCAA men's
The beach
tournament.
would be a great spot tomorrow.
Yeah, so
Casa Calabria still amazes me because, and we've spoken about this, but rarely. I mean, you traveled around a lot, especially when you were a sports writer. You were all over the world, and I did a lot of traveling, and your first inclination might be when you've been on the road or you just got in on a flight or whatever, you've been schlepping around all day traveling, just eat at the hotel restaurant. But rarely would you find a hotel restaurant as unique as the Casa Calabria was, or is, to people that are actually getting a bargain on the hotel rates too. They're at the Ocean Manor Hotel, so pretty unique setup there. I always look forward to going there to see Frankie, and amazing accomplishments that he's had in both the hotel and the restaurant, the entire hospitality industry.
Yeah, no, he's done. Like he's kind of had the Midas touch. He's the
Yeah,
anti-Trump. Everything that Frankie touches turns to gold. He's really reclaimed and
he
refurbished.
starts with a little and turns it into a lot.
Yes.
Whereas
And I'm just a little bit, I guess, not forlorn, but I hope at some point we can all get up to the Port de Hiver, the little bed and breakfast that he bought up in, I guess it's Melbourne or Cocoa
Yeah,
Beach. I
Melbourne,
always
Melbourne,
forget
yeah.
Melbourne, but it looks fantastic. It looks really high end, exclusive, and he's going to be, adding some new dining components up there. Maybe at some point we could do a one off over the summer and plant the seed, because that would make a great kind of like almost staycation spot.
Yeah.
Like one of those mini vacations where you don't even
it's
have
nice
to
up
fill
there. The surf comes in pretty hard there.
And it
So
feels
so
like
it's good. I mean, if you're a body surfer, I could see Mike Mayo bringing the surfboard up there, like you were, on your way to Australia, and just riding the waves in, man. Some big waves, big surf. I go up there once in a while because my friend lives up there. I used to play tennis with, and he's always asking me to move up there. And I'm thinking that there's not a whole hell of a lot to do there outside of going to the dog track, but it's booming now, that area, Melbourne. All these tech people are moving there.
well, it seems
That
like
they're involved with like NASA and stuff like that.
yeah. Well, now NASA has become partly privatized. They're doing a lot of work with where SpaceX and the Elon Musk's outfit, which I guess is SpaceX, and then there's the Jeff Bezos. I don't even know what his is called, but they're doing a lot of work for those companies, and those companies have actually been basing themselves up near the launch pads because they're using the Cape Canaveral or whatever they call it, Cape Kennedy. What is it? Which Cape is it? It used to be
It's one of
Canaveral.
them, yeah.
Now
It
they
might
call
be
it Kennedy.
Canaveral still. I don't know.
But and like you said, it's now become kind of an intellectual hub. Now there's a contradiction in terms in
I'm
Florida.
telling you, the dog track was the big attraction there
Yeah.
back in the days when
Yeah.
you probably covered the Marlins at their initial spring training. You were still writing sports then.
Yeah.
What was that, 93?
Vieira was the place.
Vieira, but I mean, it was essentially Melbourne, and you were staying at some hotel in Melbourne. And,
Holiday Inn Express. Yeah. absolutely.
they had a couple of places, and I'll never forget one of my favorite things. I fell in love with this guy because who do I run into at the dog track? Thinking, wow, only a sleazy degenerate like me would be at the dog track at night after watching all this baseball and meeting all these guys in the hotel. And who's out there punching away? Tony Perez, the great Tony Perez.
Nice.
Never forget that. Yeah, he was a lover of the racetrack, Tony Perez, with all those RBIs.
Yeah, I know baseball players certainly like to gamble, and it's amazing the inconsistencies. Bye bye, Lubie again. But yeah, Pete Rose bets on baseball, never bet against his own team, he says, and I believe him. I mean,
I don't
Charlie
know about
Austin-
that. I don't know. Did you see the times he brought in Pedro Borbon? And you're thinking, there's no reason to bring in Barbone. He just pitched 3 days in a row, and he got shelled yesterday. I mean, why is he coming into the game today? Because Pete needed to hit an over. I mean, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but I guess.
Do you believe anybody that's a degenerate, lying, scumbag gambler like we are, Mayo? Come on. I mean, how many stories have you told in your lifetime? How many times did you tell the lovely Michelle Mayo, oh, I had to stop and buy gas 2 times. You wouldn't believe it, man. There was a hole in my tank.
I
On the
got
way
stuck
home,
in
when you came home,
traffic.
she knew you had 100 on you, and it came back with like $8, and she knew that you were betting. You were gambling again, my
There
friend.
was a huge wreck on the highway, and
Yeah.
it got shut down, and I was stuck for 2 hours. And meanwhile, I'm off at the poker table. Now, hey, speaking of degenerates, congrats to my friend Dan the Man. I don't
Oh,
wanna
man,
give
how
any
about that?
figures, but the man has been on a heater the last couple of days. He basically says that he turned $300 into 20 large. It's unbelievable because he hit it for a poker table. I did give figures, so I'm totally. He won a poker tournament at Dania on Sunday night, and then he basically cashed at a tournament at the Hard Rock last night, and then, as like any good degenerate, instead of just going home with his winnings,
Yeah.
he went to the blackjack tables, and that's something I don't ever do.
He must have been sending it in at blackjack to win that kind of money.
Yeah,
Because that's essentially an even money proposition.
He's making money like
Gambling.
that on
Yeah.
blackjack.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he must have been playing $25 hands, and then just
$25
started
hands. He must have been
increasing.
playing $2,500 hands. What are you talking
Well,
about?
at some point between then and 5:30 in the morning,
He was splitting aces with
you know,
2,500 on each shoe there.
when your phone beeps at 5:30 in the morning, you always like get that little pitter patter in your heart, like, oh my god. Usually it's
What's
nothing
going
good if
on?
it's 3 in the
Yeah.
morning. This is a 5:30 a.m. text saying, "Oh, I just won 14K at the black."
It's an enormous score. I can't even conceive of it. I
And
mean, maybe you win a dime when you're really hot. 14,000 at the blackjack table.
Yeah,
What do you
so
bet? You're not playing 25 a hand there, Michael.
so he's basically on I guess the anti-Otani streak where he's actually winning lots of money,
Yeah.
not owing anything to a bookie, and that's
Totally
good for him.
believable story. Shohei Ohtani. Totally believable.
Um,
He had no idea what was going on. Some guy just accessed his bank account for $4.5 million, sent it to a bookmaker, which would be just a catastrophic development in terms of his ability to impact Major League Baseball, and he didn't know anything about it. It's great.
yeah, no,
And then this bookie is extending this interpreter. What does an interpreter make? I mean, a UN interpreter maybe. Do they make $150 a year, 150?
I would assume a guy like that is probably in the
$100,000.
range of
He's in
200.
baseball. He's got to be discreet. He's got to be somebody that should be trusted. You would think they would have vetted him out and
Southern
made
California,
sure he was of the utmost, a pillar of society. This guy.
Southern
be-
California, high cost of living, probably has to have a couple of trips back to Japan to see the family a year.
$500,000
I would
for
say
this interpreter?
I would say 250 a year
Okay.
is a reasonable rate for considering the amount of money that Otani is making.
You're a bookie, or have you? You've known bookies in your lifetime. Did they ever extend a guy that's making $250,000 a year, $4.5 million in gratuitous, gravy there before he has to actually pay?
Sure, if he has access to the bank account of the guy who has
Shohei
700 million.
Ohtani, exactly.
And how would he have that access unless this guy knew something? I mean, come on.
Look, all I know is this: it looks very fishy. It looks fishier than the
It
sashimi
looks-
platter
yeah,
that
I
we
mean,
got yesterday.
That raw tuna wasn't as fishy
Nice.
as this.
Look, this is going to continue to unravel. Obviously, the sharks of the media smell blood in the water, and it's just very interesting because
Lubie's
we
got
have.
inside information. I believe we have inside information on this. I really do.
No, you spoke to your guy, Brandon Lang. It was over the airwaves of your morning show last week, and the guy knows the guy, the bookie, I guess, who has been squeezed by the feds.
I know another guy that knows this guy also,
Yeah.
at least has had contact with this Boyer guy that got busted. Matthew Boyer's the guy's name. And he more or less, implicated the same thing, that it was Barzini all along.
Well, the thing is, it's amazing the hypocrisy of baseball and the different mores. I mean, in terms of you have guys that have been allowed. Baseball is basically the most lenient of sports when it comes to guys gambling at legal ventures, whether it be pari-mutuels or Las Vegas casinos. So, hence, we've seen Tony Perez punching away at the dog track up in Melbourne.
Jim Leland was calling in bets to Phil Saltzman from the dugout of Marlins Park.
Jim Leland was a very devout practitioner of the racetrack.
Were you ever in Saltzman's booth when Leland would call and go, can you get me 200 on the 6?
I was not in the booth, but I've been next to Phil when he was at the betting windows, and then he heard the phone ring. He says, "I got to go and take this." And
it's Leland, and you see Leland on the phone in the dugout, and you think he's calling to see if he's going to get like one of the weathers up, and it turns out that he's calling Phil Saltzman to call in a bet. I mean, how beautiful is that?
Right, and then
in the midst of winning a World Series.
But then you also have all these other players that have owned horses and been in the the racing game, which is fine. It's a legitimate business, but it is gambling. But what Otani did, which is kind of mind-boggling, is with all this legal betting available out there, that to actually start going through an illegal bookmaker, where that's all you're doing is putting yourself at risk. And again, we don't know if Otani did it, or we know that money was transferred from his account, and it's going to be very interesting to see how Major League Baseball.
Who's sending money straight out of their bank account to a bookmaker? Seriously, I mean, would you not meet the guy at the graveyard at like 10 in the morning or something on a Monday and just pay up?
Thanks to today's technology, I've been known to send money straight from my bank account to the online Twin Spires betting account.
That's different, though. I mean, that's this was a guy that was obviously doing this, and it was an under the table, unscrupulous business that he was in, illegal in California, and that's why they were onto him in the first place.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking as soon as the guy sat down, he said, "You want names?" Right?
You're talking about
as soon
the
as the feds,
bookmaker.
this
Yeah, of
Boyer, he
course.
sits down in a chair, they turn the lights on, and they say, "Well, here's what you're facing, Mr. Boyer. What do you have to say to us?" And we know that the federal government, what do they want? If they bust this bookie, what is it? In the agate type in the back of the sports section somewhere in the Ontario Daily Report outside of LA? No. You get Otani involved, and what are they getting? Nothing but headlines about the evil of illegal gambling in California.
Huh.
And who knows what the agenda is there. So you would have to think that they were absolutely just salivating when he started naming off guys like Otani. And who knows where it goes.
Yeah, and again, I don't know what Major League Baseball does other than it.
Nothing here. I mean, it will collapse the sport. What are you talking about?
Well, but if they don't do anything against this guy for illegal wagering, even if it's just only on soccer, then what do you do with the Pete Rose?
Pete Rose becomes commissioner. Rob Manfred will be out by the end of June.
And baseball is in bed now with all these betting apps and betting.
Of course.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's why they have to cover their rear on both angles. First of all, they finally accepted gambling, and it's a big part of everything, including baseball. So they have to protect that, and then on top of that, you have to protect the competitive balance crap that we know is literally the point of sports that has been questioned since the beginning of sports. Yes, that's why they ran to cover this up. Look, it may not be Otani, but in life, when you like you're telling your woman or your mom or your best friend, if they ask you a question and your story changes 6 times in the span of like 2 years, like
dog ate my homework. I mean,
who is there? Like
my grandmother ate my homework and my dog died.
exactly.
Oh no, I got that wrong. Sorry. Let's change that. I got my interpreter messed that up.
Hey, let's get back to more germane topics, like how much.
I got a few food things here.
Wait.
for you,
No,
Mike
but
Mayo.
before I'm talking degeneracy. Like usually, me and my buddy, if one of us has a big score, we throw each other a couple of sticks, or like do a buy-in for a tournament. And he was nice enough Sunday night; he threw me a stick afterwards, and but
he won 20 grand and he threw you a stick. No, that was
no. That was after the first one, which was
okay,
just the 5,900 or whatever. But which is fine. It's
Nothing wrong with it.
Usually,
No.
we have a deal where if we're both playing in the same tournament, we have either 5 or 10% of each other. That kind of gives us. But I did not play the Sunday night tournament because I still
as
have a
usual.
wife
You
and a
opted out
girlfriend.
when the guy was on fire.
Yeah, and but do you think what would be appropriate? Like, should he buy me into a tournament this weekend? Should I just say
ultimately in gambling he doesn't need to do anything for you,
No.
but if he does, that would be a nice, gracious and gratuitous maneuver. And you would hope one day when he was emptied out and you were on a roll that you would reciprocate and do the same.
there I go schnoring again, right?
Yes, already. Poor guy, the money's not even in the bank yet, and you're already asking for a piece. That's incredible. Do you want a piece of my? I won $4 last
I
night
don't
in
want
the
to
Mega
say
Millions.
I don't want
You
to
want a
air
piece of
all
that?
my I don't want to air all my business, but let's just say I was very generous with the guy for a long time, and it took him a long time to repay
That's
me.
not always reciprocated, Mike Mayo, as you know.
Yeah.
The ethics of degeneracy don't apply equally to everybody. We know that.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just, of course, schnoring. Like, was it painfully, or was it painful to watch yesterday? The fact that he brings out all these beautiful appetizers.
Yeah, he brings
the
out
grilled
20
shrimp,
beautiful dishes. Yeah.
the lamb chops, and then I'm like saying, no sushi.
Hey, where's the fish?
That was amazing. No, you didn't say it like that. I was waiting for you in a break to go, oh, we love whatever, some Mayo phrase.
Yeah.
But you literally on air were like, so now do we get sushi? You literally were like,
I think he said his exact words were, Lubie, what? No fish? And the Queen Man turned green, man. He was unbelievable. He was like, oh, Jesus, Mayo. I mean, I thought you would be satisfied with like 8 courses of lamb chops and all this other stuff he brought out.
Meanwhile, the shrimp heads, I'm very proud of Lubie because, like I said,
He did it. Did he eat the eyeball, though? Did Lubie eat the eyeball?
You don't go all the way to the top, right?
There are people who eat the whole thing, even the.
I thought you did. I thought you shoveled that whole
antennas.
thing in your face.
I only go eyeballs deep. I only go up, to like half half of the head, and then I kind of chew out some of the brains because they are very tasty when they're fried brains. This might
That
be
was of no appeal to me. I would have to admit.
well. I was a little surprised that you even shied away from the lamb chops. I thought
I just wasn't really that hungry when I got there, unfortunately, because I had not done my walk of life yet, and I was feeling like, hey, I really don't need to eat too much
you
right
really
here.
punish yourself, don't
Yeah.
you? Well, I
No,
punish.
no. I mean, you have to take certain things into consideration. I'm telling you, Michael. That's why I'm on you so much about this whole business with your quasi attempts to
Oh,
feign
tomorrow is
like you're
DJ.
into health, but. I mean, later you really pay a price. You're moving into what? Have you just moved into your mid to late 50s at this point?
Yeah, no, I'm going to be 58 later in
I'm
June.
advising you now,
No, I
approaching
already know
73, that this is the time that you don't want to let yourself down. You
the
really.
wrath.
It sounds stupid. It sounds like something your parents would say to you. Why don't you lose some weight? Your knees might feel better, that kind of thing. But it's true. You got to kind of stay on it, and you really have to watch yourself. Like,
Wrath is coming because tomorrow I'm going to the cardiologist. There will be
Oh,
hell to pay.
geez.
I've already seen.
What a punching bag you're going to be
I
tomorrow.
I took a blood. I had blood tests last week. I've seen the results. They're not pretty.
Are they good?
Even
No.
Not good.
even with an
Numbers aren't good?
increase in dosage of the statin of the cholesterol.
Oh, really?
has-
Cholesterol
My
skyrocketing?
cholesterol has dipped a little bit, but not
Okay.
to a place where anybody would be comfortable. I'm what you would call borderline high. The 200 is the magic number when it comes to the overall cholesterol. 150 is the magic number when it comes to triglycerides. And I'm a little above on both, even with an increase. He's going to order me to go for one of those body scans where they see how much plaque is built up in my
Well,
arteries.
it's not a bad idea. Look at our buddy Sarni, man. 21 days in a hospital.
I know. No, the
Flexible bypasses and all that
the
crap.
sword of Damocles is hanging over my head. I've been a little bit blithe about
A
it.
chainsaw.
But when I go in, here's my fear. I'm going to have to go for one of those, scans. They're going to see that one of my arteries is like clogged at 70%. They're going to wheel me right into the
better that
catheterization.
than the other alternative. So that's the good thing. All right. So you're getting this checked out. That's good.
Well, and then I also, I think I'm.
Well, what do you think now? Will you be going to McDonald's for a Krispy Kreme donut?
No.
And what do you make of this? I mean, no, we've seen this before. Like Dunkin' Donuts, didn't they have Baskin Robbins they were partnering up with, and you could get ice cream at a Dunkin' Donuts? Was that the place that had
Yes,
Baskin
right.
Robbins?
Brian's asking about A1C, and that's one of the reasons I'm avoiding the donuts and the sugars and the sodas. I've never been a big regular soda drinker, except when I go to Brian's because his root beer collection. I'm on the verge of.
What do you make of this thing, though?
Well, wait, I'm on the
McDonald's
verge
and,
of
Krispy Kreme?
full-blown diabetes. I've got to watch
Oh, no.
out.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to take a standing 8 count. Now.
Well, I
You'll be
mean,
in the Giants ad with that fat chick that's dancing at the fountain at Hialeah.
I'm ready for some dancing with some. I'm ready for, what? Once you actually get a diabetes diagnosis, then you can actually get your hands on those miracle drugs, the ones that Oprah is on, whichever one.
Yeah,
it
you don't
is.
want that, Michael. You don't want any of this. You can avoid it. I'm telling you, you can clean up your act.
Well, I've been good with the walking, but the eating part.
The
And
walk of
I
life
didn't even
will
get into.
definitely save you. There's no doubt.
I got to tell you about yesterday's bang bang bang. It was really a.
Oh no, you ate again after the whole thing at
I was
Kaiser?
trying to be good. I had a little meeting in Miami. I went down to a place I haven't been in a while. I went to a little microbrewery where they had great food. And a friend of mine is like saying, you got to try the fried chicken sandwich here. You got to try. They make really good house-made hot dogs.
Oh, Jesus.
Fries. And then I went to the Citadel Food Hall because they have this smash burger place that everybody, all these like foodies in Miami rave. Oh, this is the best burger. I hate smash burgers. It was a pretty good smash. It was kind of like a White Castle burger writ large because it was like a steamed bun and they don't put any lettuce to it. But it was just a bloodbath. But let's get back to the whole marriage between McDonald's and
now have they merged from some kind of corporate angle? I mean, what would be the rationale behind this? Because you would think that people that were going to McDonald's, especially for breakfast, when you might be inclined to get a Krispy Kreme donut, that McDonald's would be more than happy to sell them their $9 Egg McMuffin at this point. And would not necessarily want to offer some kind of an option where, okay, so the guy gets a cup of coffee and now he's buying a Krispy Kreme donut, unless they're juicing the price. What do you think? Can that work?
No, my question is this. I mean, I see Krispy Kreme donuts all over the place, including my supermarket shelves, but those are pre-made and boxed and packaged. When I want a Krispy Kreme donut, I want to see that red neon hot now sign flashing. and I want them
You
to
want to
just
burn your
melt.
tongue off, just
I,
scorch your tongue off. Yeah,
glazed
it's great.
sugar just like scalding the roof of
Exactly.
my mouth, and then you just can't stop at one, whether you have diabetes or not. It's just like as the experience I found when I took my daughter for her first time to a real Krispy Kreme when the hot now sign was flashing. It
Remember
was
how
just about-
popular that was when they first
Oh.
hit the scene here?
They used to camp out before a grand opening when the new one would open, and the
Yeah.
couple that opened down here, because I guess Krispy Kreme would give away a free dozen for every
It looked
week.
like Chick-fil-A.
They would give away 52 weeks of free donuts for a dozen a week to the first, like, I don't know, 100 people in line. So people would camp out like it was Black Friday or something
Yeah.
in the old days at Best Buy. Like they would pitch tents for 3 days.
It was insane. It really was.
But my daughter didn't have a real hot now Krispy Kreme. I think it was probably 5 or 6 years ago, and we got like a full dozen because it's cost effective at that point. And she took the first bite. She put the first one down. She scarfed it in about
First one you
literally
can swallow.
20
Yes.
seconds, and then
Right.
she ate another, and then another. And she's like, "These are really good."
She did 6 of them? Wow.
No, she did three.
Okay.
And I did another 3, and then we brought 3 home. But hard to see how I have both cardio,
Yeah.
heart, and
I hope you're willing to admit
diabetes
some of this stuff to the doctor tomorrow
Of
when he asks you,
course.
hey, how's your diet look?
There's no.
He's gonna find out. He might
I have all my sob stories. It's been a very stressful time. I just lost my mother. All these other things. It's
Everybody doesn't care about that.
my job involves going around to restaurants, sometimes 3 a day, and eating. But I don't have to eat that much. Look, the buck is going to stop somewhere. If they had an Overeaters Anonymous meeting somewhere, I would go there. Do they have those things?
You think this is a temporary thing, like that you're just going through now, or have you had periods of time? Yeah, you weren't always, scarfing like 6 meals a day, were you? I mean,
No, I think this is a culmination of. Man, I feel like I'm at a therapy session.
no, it's good, man. I mean, we got you on the couch here.
We're like,
We want you to do well on this medical exam tomorrow. That's all.
Oh no, this is like I am in
And
for
you're
a
talking
tongue
about
thrashing.
Krispy Kreme donuts, eating like a half a
I
dozen
am in
Krispy
for-
Kremes at one
Every
sitting.
every time I look at a picture of myself, I was like, boy, I've really let myself go. But again, I've used
It's all
this
about how
line-
you feel, though. I mean, that's the key. If you feel good, I guess you can, go ahead and tolerate it.
I told you I had this, this epiphany the other week when I was doing a walk, and it just hit me of like this dichotomy of man where I said, I have never been more repulsed by my body than now, but yet I've never been more comfortable in my own skin. So it's just,
That's interesting, man. You stole that from some Bartlett's
No,
quote book. Come
no,
on,
I
Mayo.
came up with
mean,
that all by
that sounds like a
myself.
lead you wrote in some article many years ago.
what can I say? I'm a man.
Wow, that could be the opening line of your book.
I'm facile with words. I'm a cunning linguist. What can I say?
You
So-
are that you very much are. So would you go to McDonald's to buy a Krispy Kreme donut?
No,
What's the
hell
story
no.
on this? Come
fresh.
on.
How can it be fresh if it's
Yeah.
like McDonald's isn't baking
They
donuts?
got thrown into a
Some
microwave.
schlep is showing up there from Krispy
This morning,
Kreme's central distributorship, and they're showing up with and how many McDonald's do they hit with these donuts? The same
They
place.
throw it into a microwave for,
Yeah.
for 20 seconds. I mean, anybody could do. The answer is, I don't go to McDonald's much anymore. Anyway, occasionally
I can't tell you the last time I've been through there.
a
Been a
crisis
long time.
drive-through at 11 that took me. I told you it was like 27 minutes until I got it, where I had to pull over to the other lane. I'm done with McDonald's, even for their Egg McMuffins, because I like the Egg McMuffins, but not
Yeah.
when it's $5 a la carte. You don't even get the coffee or the hash browns.
I prefer
anymore.
Burger King's offerings for breakfast.
I
Even
don't
though
go to-
none
I-
of them are really good for you. But
This will be, I guess, hard to believe for some people, but as puffy and overweight as I am, I don't fill myself with crap. It's all high quality,
High level food. You just eat a lot of it.
yeah, for the most part.
That's it. So, and I was at Grandpa's this morning for a little breakfast.
But they use good ingredients. You're not. That's the thing. My problem is I eat a lot of stuff that's probably processed, and that's actually a whole other
Yeah.
health problem.
Like-
Anything out of a box or a can, no good for you.
So,
Yeah.
so like this morning, it's so sad because I'm gonna be, the day of reckoning is nigh. Tomorrow, going to the cardiologist, and what do? I get the egg white wrap with the no meat in there. It's just the egg whites. And
You pay
tomato.
token homage to this stuff once in a blue moon.
Exactly.
That's your problem.
I get the tomatoes on the side instead of the hash
Tomatoes
browns.
on the side.
And
That's
I heard
that's an
greatest-
embarrassment. Yeah.
I heard the greatest analogy the other day. It's like my friend said, Oh, you're like the guy who the day before the dentist visit just flosses for the first time in
Yes,
3 months.
exactly. You
Yes,
finally
yes,
break out that toothbrush you got
yes.
the last time you were at the dentist and say, hey, let me do this. It's
Hey,
like anything else, right? I mean, you're going to weigh in, so all of a sudden you're out there schwitzing, or you're thinking about, hey, where can I go find a sauna bath right now before I go to the doctor? Yeah, everybody does the same thing. You don't want to look like a schmuck.
You
well,
should be
That's
doing
the
it
problem.
well before and
hey,
after.
we
But
got
the
to take.
doctor doesn't care. It's kind of like your attorney when you're found guilty of something and then they're whisking you off to prison for 3 years. Does the attorney give a flying one? He might care about you, but in essence, he's going home.
He only
Yes.
cares if he hasn't got
Yeah,
his full retainer and the amount that
right,
you
right.
owe
So
him.
the doctor, I mean, he looks, he says, Mayo, you want to keep doing this? That's fine.
That's your choice.
Suit
Exactly.
yourself. Yeah.
Choice. Yes.
He's a really good doctor. He also treated my mom, and he has that kind of scold. He doesn't scold, but he just that look of utter
The look.
disappointment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody gets the look.
yeah.
Yeah. They're
So
trained to give you the look regardless of your health condition.
things are
Have you
gonna.
found that to be true? Even if you're in perfectly good health, they give you the look like, hey, you know what? Those numbers are a little, borderline.
Yep.
And the next thing you know, you see like that the woman's wearing a patch, Ozempic, on her
Ozempic. That's the one
uniform. Yeah,
that maybe I'll get on. But anyway, no, I don't want. I want to do things the all natural way through diet and exercise and
a
just
little
clean
discipline.
living.
I think you can do it.
Yeah, but in any event, hey, let's take our first break, and we got to talk about our friends at Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap. Coming up to the big holiday weekend, you can have brunch with friends and family Saturday or Easter Sunday. And
Yes.
Batch, they do a great job, whether it's a big group or just two of you. Go on in there, sit on the patio if it's a nice day, and you get some of those eggs Benedict with the fried green tomatoes, the shrimp and grits they have. They have the chicken and waffles, all those things that my cardiologist just loves so much. The Batch people are great. They take great care of you. Of course, Kevin and Brandon, they are masters of hospitality. You'll see them working there, the working the floor. They are hands on, and that's what I like to see. Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved because they really do take extra care that makes sure that all the special touches are just right, especially the drinks. And you can go in there. Of course, they're open for lunch and dinner throughout the week, 7 days. And they have a great cocktail program, happy hour every day from 4 to 7 with some good light bites, some good drink specials. And on Whiskey Wednesday, I believe today is a Wednesday, right? So tonight will be a Whiskey Wednesday. You get in there, some good deals. They're also doing these charitable ventures now where you can buy whole bottles of really good whiskey. They make proprietary blends and also things that some of the special, renowned whiskey and bourbon makers in the country will do special bottlings for them, and then they sell it off, and all the proceeds above cost goes to some really good outfits, including a lot of the pet rescues and dog rescue operation. Kevin is a big dog and pet lover, so we love to support people who are pet lovers because Defo, that the way you judge people is how they treat
If an animal doesn't like you,
dogs.
then forget about it. They are the ultimate in terms of character judgment.
Now, Patch is at 525 North Federal Highway, and they have free parking in the garage right on the side street next door. 4 hours of free parking makes it really easy. Get in there, Batch, and tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
All right, more coming up on morbid obesity here on the Mike Mayo Lunchbox Show. We'll get the numbers tomorrow in a moment.
For Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Fish, a sophisticated setting. I'm talking about Corvina Seafood Grill. It's at 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. It's the place to go for the freshest and local seafood and fish, some of it with a Peruvian twist like their great ceviches. It's open 7 days for dinner. They also have happy hour 7 days a week. You don't want to miss it. It's a great place. CorvinaBocaRaton.com for more information and reservations. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Oh, back on the Lunchbox. I was just going to get a little water. I need some hydration. And
Water.
I got a little parched. I got to take my walk of life. I got to do a lot of things. This whole day get screwed up. Here's my show sheet. I was going to have a whole list of topics.
Wow,
Of course,
I got a couple for you, Mike Mayo. I'm going to bail you out on this one, okay?
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right, two of them. I don't know which one you will approach first. All right, one was a thread on Let's Eat South Florida that I found almost comical.
Okay.
In its venomous, emasculating attack on a certain establishment. And the other one, I guess, is going to be featured on TV tonight. And this is right up your alley because it seemed like at one time this was a favorite of the Foo Food Society, the Wynwood area, which was developing all of these restaurants that everybody, and they had the Chateau Amour or whatever. I mean, all of these fancy schmancy places. And I guess they're doing a piece tonight. I think it might be on Channel 10 on ABC affiliate that Wynwood is like restaurants are closing. I think you mentioned this the other day that a lot of places are closing. You had some kind of a comment on Let's Eat South Florida. And it seems like it's really, I guess, impacted that area. What happened there? Do you have any idea? I mean, there were some places that were getting rave reviews, weren't there?
So
Wynwood area.
Not as big a deal? Is that what it is?
No. What's happened is it's a victim of its own success. Wynwood, of course, started off as a gentrifying place. That was a place nobody wanted to be caught dead or alive about 10, 15 years ago. It got developed by some developers, a guy named Goldman, that kind of brought it to life with Wynwood walls. And then artists came, and then some forerunners of, restaurants came. But back then they were much cheaper rents. And you could get a 5 and 5 year lease, like a 10-year lease for a reasonable amount. Now what's happened is everybody has swooped in. They're building all these new developments, mixed use high rises and hotels. And the mom and pops get squeezed out, and because of the rising tide around them, the landlords that had existing tenants say, hey, you know what? We're changing your lease terms, or we're changing the maintenance, the monthly maintenance, and we're going to boost that by 80%. So they feel the squeeze. And of course, with the higher costs for everything, food costs, labor costs, insurance costs, you see a lot of places that are going to be closing in the next few months everywhere, but especially in a place like Wynwood that has gotten too popular for its own good. And then the result is you see more big money backed places, not exactly chains, but sometimes higher end chains. I mean, we see it down in the Brickell area. You have all these global kind of global luxury chains, I call them, for restaurants. One of them is called LPM, Le Petit Maison. And then there's other places that Sexy Fish. There's one in Miami, and they built one down here for $32 million. And yeah, the regular guys, the 99%, gets priced out. The 1%, they have lots of choices, but at some point supply and demand kicks in. And yeah, so it's sad because Wynwood started off as really a funky, great place with a lot of good food places, and now you're going to see more and more getting squeezed.
Yeah, kind of weird. I mean, when you look at it, that this was a hip joint. And I imagine you hadn't gone there in a while, but you always wanted to go there, and you get there, and half the places are boarded up. But that's going to be kind of strange. All right, the place that was getting just emasculated online there on Let's Eat South Florida was the location actually that's nearest to me, which I don't know how tempted I am to go in there, although there's always some kind of curiosity about the new places that you see on the restaurant scene. This place has locations in a lot of I guess all over South Florida. Mad Chicken, and I don't know. Did you approve that one where
I did not even
the guy?
see
I mean,
that one.
absolutely undressed this place. And then what I was surprised to see that there were very little. Usually, you get a complaint like Lubie was talking about yesterday with. Some guy was trashing Texas Roadhouse, which we found absolutely unbelievable and incredible, considering our experiences there. And usually, you see some people come to the defense of the place and say, you know what? No, I had a great experience there. I love it. I go back every couple of days. They just destroyed this place, Mad Chicken on Atlantic and Pompano.
Oh,
relatively new place. It had kind of replaced what I think was a Thai restaurant that. One of those Thai restaurants that you never saw anybody go into, so you're wondering if it wasn't just like a money laundering joint because it was right down the street from the Cafe Sportiva.
Oh, I know
Sportivo,
that. Love that
where you're thinking, what do they sell there? How come all these
Central
guys are
Park?
just hanging out there and they all look like they had ties to some mobster in the Bronx?
They sell excellent espresso and demi tots.
Yeah, they got like gum for $6, but yeah, so it's relatively new, and I don't know. I mean. You seem like the type that is inclined to maybe try out like a new chicken tender oriented place. Who
Well,
doesn't like a good chicken tender, my friend?
it's funny you should mention this. And last year, I think, was the year of the chicken tender. Everything opened up. It was like Raising Cane's
Yes.
and that Huey Magoo's, and now this Mad Chicken. And there was another one near me that ended up going out of business in 3 months, and it's still sitting there on the corner of Federal Highway.
Thing or whatever.
Yeah, that Nashville hot chicken place. I forget what it was called. Hot Chicks. Yeah, Hot
PDQ is already on the scene.
Yeah, PDQ is good. So, Mad Chicken is a chain.
Yeah.
There is one near me in Hollywood. I think you drove past it one time on the way to Gulfstream when you took US 1 because it's just south of Sheridan Street. Its claim to fame is that they stay open till 2:30 in the morning, apparently,
Okay.
for
All right.
all
Well,
the
that's one
insomniac stoners out there, and they
Sure.
can order from Uber Eats. Now, I went in there one time because I'm always curious about a good chicken tender. I went into the Mad Chicken in Hollywood, and I totally missed this post, so I didn't know how or why it was getting ripped for the new one in Pompano. But all I can tell you about the one in Hollywood, I never posted about it. I never mentioned it here, but I did go in one night when I got, I guess, bounced out of a poker tournament at the Big Easy, whatever they call it now, what we used to be known as the Hollywood Dog Track. I was
Big
heading,
Easy, yeah.
I head home. I see that. I said, oh, yeah, now's the time to try it. I go in there. It's completely empty. But it seems like one of those places that gets inundated with Uber Eats orders and stuff. So
Yeah.
the guy who was like, there was a lone person working at the counter, and you walk into a place and sometimes you get that vibe of like, just something is off here. And I looked at the board for a second. The guy never once said, hey, how are you? Welcome to Mad Chicken. He was just like in his own world, like did not acknowledge my existence. And I just looked at the board for a while, and then he just like, it was just a very bizarre, not a standoff, but he didn't say anything.
He never said anything to you.
No, and it's like he saw me. It's not like he was busy.
Sure, this
putting
wasn't in the
stuff-
Bahamas. You had this experience.
Yeah, and I just said, you know what? I'm good. And I just went home and I
You
made
left,
some
yeah.
pasta, and that's
Are you
it.
doing
You know,
That's kind of what this person was implying in this post about
Same
the place
thing.
on Atlantic. Yeah, we're saying that they were ignored for a long period of
yeah,
time, and
it was
then,
it was
treated
indifferent
very
service.
rudely. On top of that, and then the food was awful. And
Okay.
you see something like that, you're figuring there were a couple of people that said, "No, I've gone there and I like it." But out of 50 comments I saw, 48 of them were in
That
full agreement that this was the worst place that they ever
that
experienced in their life.
comports with the experience I had. Now, I didn't get up to the rude treatment or even the food part because all I experienced was the utter indifference and just standing there and
Yeah.
waiting there and feeling
Yeah,
utterly
you feel like a
ignored.
fool at that point.
And so my vibe is this. I think it's one of those places that are built for the new millennial generation. Millennials don't like to talk to each other. They don't like human
No,
contact.
they're always on the phone.
They like looking down at phone screens. They
Yes.
like ordering things on Uber Eats or DoorDash.
Yes.
So I think this place is just geared around
Well, did they just take their
satisfying
name seriously? It's called Mad Chicken. So is that the vibe?
Yeah.
They're just mad.
Yeah.
They want you to
Make
know.
Not only,
everybody
not only are
angry.
the chickens mad, but the people are angry too.
Yeah.
They're just-
Make everybody angry. Hey, I've got a couple of topics, including something that was on Let's Eat yesterday, and also the new season of Check Please South Florida is going to be debuting this Monday. But let's get to that after our next break. And before we get to the next break, let me just tell you about our friends at Delaware Chicken and Seafood Market this weekend. Big holiday weekend, a lot of entertaining, a lot of family gatherings between Good Friday and I didn't even realize Holy Thursday tomorrow. Some people might be having some family dinners for that. You can get, of course, your lamb and other meats and seafood for Good Friday, a big seafood day. Get some stone crab, get some shrimp, get some fish, and then, of course, for the big Easter Sunday dinner, you could get lamb or steaks or the great poultry. You cook anything you want. They have a wide variety and, of course, the best quality and great value and unbelievable service. You go in there, 4191 North State Road 7, open 7 days. DelawareChicken.com is the website, and you're going to be taken well care of. Pick up some fish dip and salmon dip for the appetizers. And of course, they will take great care of you. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Delaware Chicken and Seafood Market, over 60 years, the home of freshness, quality, and value.
Freaking steaks were awesome there, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. I still remember tasting that first bite of that New York strip they served us. Wow. Just tremendous stuff. All right, we're coming back with more Mike Mayo's Lunchbox on this Wednesday in a moment.
Comfort food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food and a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and daily fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have daily happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting. Have I got the place for you? Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi, fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova, or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, we're back on the Lunchbox, and it is wow. The hour just flies by sometimes with these home shows when I'm not busy stuffing my face, and we're talking about some good topics. Let's Eat South Florida has hit the 148,000 threshold, so
Ooh.
creeping up on 150.
Wow.
And yeah, that is something. And the one post that I noticed yesterday, because I approved it and it kind of slipped by me, but a guy was kind of remarking about a family or a birthday party of 13. I mean, you know how I feel about large groups, but at a place, but he got the name wrong. He had the city right. It's confusing because Vienna Wine Bar is a long-running restaurant that was very well regarded. Then there's a place called Vienna Cafe, which is more of a lunch and tea, like high tea spot, which is actually in Cooper City on Flamingo Road. The guy said Vienna Cafe in Davies. So people were a little bit confused as to which one he was talking about. And he especially was talking about a lunch with 13. Both of them are open for lunch. Turns out he was talking about Vienna Wine Bar. It's on State Road 84. Former owner was Para Jacobson, long-running, long-respected chef. He recently sold the establishment. It was, he was getting up there, and he also recently lost his wife, and he just was not into, just not up to running a restaurant anymore. So he sold it to a group, I think, that owns a couple of places in Miami. And, the word on the street is it's been trending downward. I have not been in there for a long time. I know you got to go soon, Lethal, but have you ever been in there? It's either one.
I don't recall ever being in there.
It's right next to. It's a very interesting place where I thought you might have been, which was the drive-through wedding vow place.
I've done that in Las Vegas twice, so
I don't know if that. I don't
that's
think
the easy way to go. You don't even have to get out of the car. You just look at her and say, "I do," and that's it.
They had that wedding vow drive-through place that was in business for a while. It was also near.
You could also get windshield wipers there. It was also one of those. So remember, I had Wiper Hut. That was great.
But anyway, Vienna Bar and Cafe, I haven't been there, but apparently this gentleman had a bad experience, but he wasn't specific about it. I don't know why. I just let it go through, and it caused the whole brouhaha. And then the guy when I kind of said to him, "Hey, can you just please specify which one it is?" And he all took umbrage. He said, "I said Davie, so that's good." I said, "Yeah, you said the right city with the wrong name. And when you're kind of trashing the place's reputation, it's kind of helpful to have the right name." So he was talking about Vienna Wine Bar.
Okay.
And another woman kind of chimed in. This is what I love about the group, because there are not spies, but there are people everywhere. There are members everywhere. Somebody who happened to be at the establishment at the same time, apparently, as this gentleman's group, was saying that they were a little bit of a difficult group. That
the most obnoxious, unruly, and scrupulous human beings that they've ever met.
It was for a 75th birthday party, and that everybody, of course, modified their orders. Nothing like it says on the menu. Some people didn't want cheese, and some people didn't want whatever, and wanted only the romaine lettuce and not the mixed lettuce, and just. When you're in a big group, you're taking your chances anyway. And then when you start modifying every freaking order, you're just begging for trouble. And I know places should get it right. You're paying good money, but let's face facts. You're just setting yourself up for failure. All right, Defo, we're going to
Yeah, I got to get
Dismiss
out of
you
here.
early. You have
Thanks.
early dismissal pass today. I know you have something going
I got to
on,
go on a Zoom call here at 2 o'clock, so I
and
got to
then
shut this down
I will
and
see you
crank that up.
tomorrow
All
after
right.
the riot act has been read at my cardiologist at
Oh yeah.
Ocean
Oh,
Manor.
Casa Calabria. Okay, great.
Yeah,
That'll be awesome. All right.
we will get all the gory details. But meanwhile, we've got me and Luby to finish up today. And before we take that third and final break, I just want to share some news that the new season of Check Please South Florida, which of course is Chef Michelle Bernstein is the host presenter, is finally going to set to debut the new season. It's actually the 21st season,
Oh
but
wow.
for a couple of years they had 2 seasons on in a single year. So I think the show actually started like in 2007 or 2008. So it's been on the air for about I'd say I can't even do math anymore, like 17 years or 16 years at this point.
Wow.
But a couple of the seasons had double seasons. So it's going to be the premiere of season 21 on Monday, April 1st. No fooling. And the premiere episode is going to feature none other than Hui Lam and our friend Dr. Nick Tranicus, who was the one who submitted Kaizen. So he's going to be Hui, besides being a friend of the Lunchbox, is going to get his star turn on the local PBS channel. It's a well-watched show among foodies, and for those foodies who are not aware of the sushi savant himself, they're going to get to see it, and it's going to be fun to see that episode. So that's the season premiere. The season finale is going to be June 3rd. It's going to feature the Catherine in Fort Lauderdale, presented by a special mystery presenter. That's going to be an interesting show.
I love it. That's great. A lot of connections to this show. I love it.
So we got a lot to look forward to. And actually, it's I've been on the show before when I was a news columnist, but they just had me among their usual mix of guests. So I'm going to be making a repeat visit. It's going to be a fun time. It's kind of weird because we actually did the dining all the way back in October and November. The taping was in November. So by the time this episode airs, I'm hoping that Timon is still going to be there. But the Catherine, of course, not going anywhere. They're doing gangbuster business. And they got all these, James Beard Award recognition for him. The restaurant itself has been well lauded. New York Times said it had one of the best 25 dishes in the country. So, that red Thai curry. It used to be Snapper, and now he's using Branzino.
Very nice.
And you were just in there for
a week ago. Yeah, we had it a week ago, and the place was slammed. And it was like,
good.
We're really happy to see it like this. And you doing well. And Timon's classic because like he always remembers the people that bitch. Like I'm like, you're slammed though. Like everything's going well. He's like, yeah, but this area.
He's one of those sensitive chefs. He remembers all the bad reviews and not,
people,
the 20,000 good reviews, and then it's like the 3 bad ones stick in your mind.
It's just funny because it's like because we again, it was like with Kaizen, like that's one of those places that it's the kind of food you're getting, not only the ingredients, but like the way he does it is as high level as anywhere you go. But then you look at the check and you're like, oh, that's that's solid. Like you're not.
Oh, the place is so reasonable for what you're getting, the quality of food.
So he's like,
people suck. I mean,
do you not know my race? And he doesn't want to be that guy. Obviously, he's like the sweetest guy, but you get defensive when you're like, yo, do you know what I could be?
Well, because look, they have filtered water. It's a machine that's really good. It puts out, and you can get your choice of still or sparkling. And for me, and they charge a $1 per person fee for the water. And I know that just drives some older people bit crazy because they're just not conditioned to that. They just always think water and bread service should be free. There's no such thing as should anymore in the restaurant business. And the water, look, I love getting all the all the filtered and very, nice and cold sparkling water. I'd rather pay $1 and have 8 glasses of sparkling water than get 2 bottles of Pellegrino for, $20 at some of these joints in Miami now. So to me, it's reasonable, but some people just love to have something to just harp about. I'm overdue for a return visit there. the last time I saw Timon, actually, I dragged him and his family out to
I know, I love
Tom's
Timon.
Louisiana Kitchen
Nice.
when he was in one of his early visits to the Riverside South Market. And of course, now Tom has pulled up stakes and is now going to be full time at that. It's now called Phil's Place. It used to be Fries to Caviar in on North Federal Highway in Boca, and he's going to be there from Tuesdays through Saturdays. So that's a good place to check out too. But Timon really enjoyed the Tom's food, and it was good to see a couple of chefs just kind of hanging out and talking shop, which they did for a while. But I got to get back into the Catherine. Besides the clam chowder fries, I think now more along the lines I've got to have like maybe the braised cabbage and the fish and some of the lighter and healthier things. But again, it's going to be the new season. Again, the premise of the show is great. Have you seen it, or do you watch that show at all, Lubie? Have you gone frozen on me? Okay, his internet has gone frozen, but the basic concept is you take 3 people from all walks of life. Each one recommends a restaurant, and then the other 2 go check out the places recommended by the others, and they all get together, sit around the table, drink some wine, and basically become critics for a day. Anyway, I am here by myself now because obviously Luby and his great internet service are a little bit wonky. But the good part is I'm going to try to get Chef Michelle Bernstein to be on the Lunchbox at some point in the next couple of weeks because we love Michelle and been big fans of hers and her cooking. And I think she's working on getting a new restaurant open down in Coral Gables, along with she still runs that Cafe La Trova, which is a great kind of Havana style music bar club also that has great food. But trying to get Michelle Bernstein lined up in the next couple of weeks.
Nice.
And that will be fun, and hopefully we can do it live, and then that way we could take your questions from the chat line. Luby, while I still have you, let's
break.
take that third break, and then we'll come back and wrap up this edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox from home.
To me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. For an exquisite sushi experience, Kaizen Sushi Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale is the place to go. 5640 North Federal Highway, just north of Commercial Boulevard. Chef owner Hui Lam, he's a sushi savant, slicing and serving pristine fish and seafood flown in directly from Japan and around the world. Nigiri, sashimi, special rolls, and omakase dinners. He's ruined me from going anywhere else. It's that good. Open 7 days for dinner and also for lunch on weekends. Even if you're not a sushi fan, they have great cooked options, including steaks, chops, rice and noodles, and other Japanese dishes. It's fantastic. For reservations and information, go to kaizenflorida.com. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new birria tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh,
It's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open face smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox, and it's me and Lubie, and we're talking food. It's funny because Defo was talking earlier about Wynwood and places are shutting, and there used to be a really good like little not a food hall, but it was kind of like an outdoor place that had all these those shipping containers with little
Yeah, the
food
food trucks and
things,
stuff. Yeah.
and that place got shut down. I
Oh,
think it was
really?
that was called Wynwood Yard.
Yeah. There
Um,
was this big
Win-
like
Wynwood
field.
Yard has been
Had it-
gone for like 2 years. The funny part is they knocked it down. These developers were poised to build some new high-rise mixed use, and then the developers went bankrupt. The place is just sitting there empty now, and that's another thing that sometimes happens when you have shaky finances. But what's happened now is the innovation, the ingenuity of people who are in restaurants and in the arts. They go find areas that are
They'll
lower
create
rent,
the next area.
and so now what we're seeing, and this is where I was yesterday in the afternoon after the show at Kaizen in Fort Lauderdale. I went down to this, called the Little River area of Miami. Little River, Little Haiti,
Yep.
Upper Buena Vista,
I know.
along Northeast Second Miami Avenue from like the 60s up through the 90s. And this Citadel Food Hall has been built there. And then also this place I went and I met, actually, him, it's Carlos Frias, who's the former food editor of the Miami Herald, and he had a show on the local NPR affiliate that got abruptly canceled, which is a little bit rude. But me and Carlos, we got together and I went to this place called Offsite. It's kind of what they call a nano brewery. They brew their own beers. They also had a couple other beers from other places, including one from Three Sons, which is my local. But they also have the owner I met yesterday, I think it's Alex. He takes pride in a lot of great house-made food, including these house-made hot dogs. And we got like just a traditional hot dog with a little sauerkraut and some house-made special mustard. And, it's one of those gourmet dogs where they make it themselves. They stuff the casing with this high-quality beef and really well seasoned, good crackling of the casing on it. Had this fried chicken sandwich, which was excellent. And then, of course, I go right from there into the Citadel because I wanted to check out this place. And just give me a couple of minutes here. I know we're going over, but I don't know if you've heard it. It's called USBS, which I think it's like stands for United States Burger something. And George is asking for the address for Offsite. Google. It's on Northeast Second Avenue, and I think it's like in the 90s or 80s. I don't even know. But USBS, United States Burger something. Smash Burgers. Oh, there goes Lubie again. But and this is part of what makes me a little bit irked at Miami places. They all have to have this like kind of pretentious, cutesy thing. The thing with USBS, they're playing off of the Postal Service. So instead of United States Postal Service, it's USBS. So instead of just ordering a burger and then they'll call your name when it's ready, their shtick is they have all these little mailboxes with keys. And then when your order is ready, they stick your bag into the mailbox. And then you get to open up your key and get the burger. Okay. And I got a double cheeseburger with the special sauce on it. I just wanted to check it out. And sure enough, the basically they take your phone number so they could text you when it's ready. Okay. And I'm sitting there and waiting, and I'm on the Let's Eat site, and next thing I know, it just doesn't it's taking a long time, and I never got the text. So I just go up to the counter, and they also assign you a name on the mailbox, and the name on my mailbox was like something like Gene, but I was expecting it to be spelled like the Haitian way, Jean, and instead it was like the American Gene, Gene. I forgot the name I was assigned. I never got the text, and I just like said, "Where's my burger?" And all of a sudden, the guy says, "Oh, I put it in there. You didn't get the text." I was like, "No, I didn't get the text." Maybe sometimes cell service is spotty. Sometimes they take a wrong number. And meanwhile, my burger had been sitting there for like 3 minutes. So that's a little bit annoying. And it's one of those things of like, why do you need this gimmick? Why can't you just do it kind of the old-fashioned way and just call me when the burger is freaking ready? I'm sitting right there. But again, this is Miami, and I don't question the trendiness of such a fine, innovative food city. The burger itself, again, I'm not a big smash burger guy, but it was tasty. I kind of likened it to a White Castle burger because it was kind of like a steamed bun that got a little bit soggy from the grease of the two burgers. And they don't put lettuce or tomato or onion on the burgers. That's one of the things they pride themselves on, which is a little bit odd because a lot of people do like those toppings. But it was just with their special sauce and the cheese and the burgers. Anyway, as I'm taking a bite, all of a sudden I hear somebody say, "Mike Mayo?" And lo and behold, it's a member of the group, Kyra Elise, who is a active member of Let's Eat. And I also met her at one of Tom T's gatherings when he was at a place up in Deerfield Beach last year, and she was there for one of his crawfish boils. But it just goes, I mean, it's crazy because she recognized me, and I was about to like take a picture of this burger, and then she's like, "Can I take a picture of you eating the burger with the big bite, the patented Mayo big bite?" And I obliged, and she took a whole series of me devouring this double burger, and she sent them to me. And eventually, I will try to burn the negatives of the digital photos. But it just goes to show you that Let's Eat people are everywhere, including in the 305, something that the group has taken a knock for in the past. But it is. Again, people are recommending places everywhere, and it's nice to finally be able to roam into the 305 again because there is some good stuff there in the 305, especially offsite. Again, I think it's Northeast 2nd Avenue, and I don't have the Google machine handy now because Lubie is gone, but let's just see if I could do a quick search for my man George there. Offsite, 8250 Northeast 2nd Avenue. So it's the on the block of 82nd, 83rd, and Northeast 2nd Avenue in that, I guess they're calling it the Little River neighborhood, which is on the rise. It's gentrifying, and more trendy restaurants, eateries, breweries, and the like are coming in there. So I would recommend going down in there. Yeah. And oh, you know what? I do have to put in the good word for our friends at Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. They are having that sold out International Whiskey Day dinner tonight. It's going to be great, but it's sold out. But the next event that's coming up, because the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival is not just a 1 week thing, it is now having events throughout the year. And the next one coming up is Saturday, April 13th at noon at Primo Liquors in Weston. That's 2390 Weston Road. And it is going to be a cocktail class to elevate your brunch game. It's called Beyond Mimosas. And a couple of great mixologists are going to be hosting the event. Lauren Navarro and Yuri Sakharov, two great cocktail experts, are going to be helping you raise your brunch cocktail game. The $65 per person fee includes some cocktails. You're going to be learning how to make a Kir Royale, which is a very nice, classy champagne drink, along with crafting your own sangria and making an espresso martini, which is all the rage, including among Lubie's wife, Shirley. Welcome back, Lubie.
Yes.
We are going deep into a little bit of overtime, but hey, it's nice when we got a home show. We could talk about different topics. And the thing you missed is that my burger experience at this place, USBS, which kind of models itself after like a post office. When your burger gets ready, they place it in a little mailbox. And instead of just saying that your burger is ready and calling out your name, they get your number. They supposedly text you, and they put it in this mailbox with a name on it. And of course, my text never showed up. And then, 15 minutes later, I'm saying, "Hey, where's my burger?" And he goes, "Oh, it's been in there. You didn't get the text." And of course, no. All right. That's going to do it for today. We're going to be at Casa Calabria tomorrow. Lubie, we will be in much better shape all together tomorrow. And until then, it's Mike Mayo for everybody saying enjoy every sandwich.